So last month, I spent a good 2 hours at least organizing myself for the season at church. I marked my calendar, and I took notes, and I considered the arc of worship this month, and I noted questions for our worship planning team and committee, and I made a list of things needed for rituals, Christmas Eve candles and their holders, and blue Christmas ribbons for next week. You'll find out all about that. Poems for the upcoming Vespers service, and Advent candles for our Advent wreath. And oh, the joy, that's our theme this month, by the way, opening to joy. Oh, the joy for me, maybe I'm not alone in this, that was blissfully planning ahead and laying it all out with precision. One of my mentors used to say, the devil and the delight are in the details. And I always understood this to mean that there is a devilishness about planning and organizing and laying it all out and moving it around like a 10,000-piece puzzle or a quilt, right? But oh, the delight that is reaped as a result, the delight for me is feeling prepared and knowing exactly where I'm going, right? So right at the top of my Christmas planning list was order Advent candles, and I did. 3-4 weeks ago, spent all this time scouring the internet to find US-made 75% beeswax candles because we're committed this year to light non-toxic, environmentally friendly candles in this sanctuary. They're hard to find as Advent candles, by the way, but I found them. And I was supporting a local small business. I was so proud of myself. And there was plenty of time for all of this planning 3-4 weeks ago, right? Plenty of time. And I found my place to buy them from with the promise that they would be here on November 22nd, which was plenty of time to spare between then and November 28th, which was last Sunday, the first day of Advent. And when I clicked on submit order and put a check mark in my little box next to order Advent candles, I felt great. Don't you love crossing things off lists? I sometimes put things on my to-do list that I've already done. It's the best. So many of you know I don't check my emails on Mondays. So I didn't see until Tuesday morning on the 23rd that an email had arrived saying that my package and our blessed Advent candles no longer had a delivery date, but was rather being held for processing. And sure enough, when I clicked on the tracking number, not only did it say held for processing, but held the ominous, horrible, no good words, future delivery date unknown. I mean, those are terrible words to hear for a planner. This is the day 2 part of the story. I think that would have made a great title for this sermon. So this launched me into a wild goose chase that were the days leading up to the 28th. That's Thanksgiving week, where a flurry of phone calls were exchanged and promises made and broken by our dear friends at UPS, failed attempts to deliver it to the church. One driver refused to leave the box at the front church door because they deemed it dangerous. My breaking point came on Saturday. So this is the day before worship last weekend. where I was told they wouldn't be here till Monday. And I literally flopped dramatically, my family can attest to this, onto the couch and yelled out, "No!" On the phone, this poor dispatch person on the receiving end, no idea what to say to calm me down. And please remember, this all took place during the holiday weekend following Thanksgiving, where I had just preached to you the Sunday before about that which is essential to be grateful for, like air and food and health and our loved ones. And so your minister was now flailing her arms around, pleading and blaming and making demands over Advent candles not being ready for worship. So this story ends with a finale that will not disappoint you, because when I finally got those candles, which did indeed arrive on Monday, a day after Sunday service, they were the wrong candles. They were like this big, like Roman Catholic Sistine Chapel Advent candles. Like, so the irony, of course, lies in all of this transpiring amid the backdrop of Advent. Advent. And Advent is understood to be many things, called by many names across many faith traditions. It's rich in symbolism, but one of its key and universal tenets is that it is a season of wait, an invitation to quiet oneself so as to wait in the unknown. That's its general prescription. We wait patiently. Time to put things down. Let them go. Give up all of our tendencies to control and wield and persist so as to prepare for the new. What might happen if we put that down? So in the Christian tradition, which we have our Unitarian-Universalist roots in, we wait for the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, a symbol of love and hope and change and justice set against a historic backdrop of despair and hopelessness. Enough. Time to put it all down, put an end to it. Time to wait and imagine, because something new is readying itself to be born. That's what this tradition teaches us. There's the symbolism of it. And for me, lighting Advent candles that we the people, imbue with meaning, hope, peace, joy, love. That's what each of them stand for. During the beauty that is this blanket of night, I believe in the night, Rilke writes, where the stars and the blessed moon can be taken in for more hours than any other time of year. The lighting of those candles remind me to slow down and see what comes out of not knowing where I'm going all the time. And so last Saturday afternoon, the day before our first Advent candle lighting service, and the same day that was the day of my phone call and temper tantrum, I came here to church and I spent some time in the sanctuary alone. And I thought about being flopped on my couch, pleading into the phone, fighting with loud no's, with such persistence and such impatience. And I thought, well, what is really going on here? And it's me wanting to get everything right. Just so, at a time of such chaos in our world, can I just get everything right and just so wield some control and safety out of this thing? So hard to just give it up and go with it, right? It can feel really scary. That's what came to me sitting in this empty sanctuary, candleless. The time of Advent teaches us about something new wanting to happen, and it most often is on our lists. And this is good. It's good. The whole candle fiasco was just what I needed to prepare for the days ahead. And I am inviting you now into it because maybe it's what you need too. Because I don't want to spend this time, and I don't want to close out this complex year fixated on lists and to-dos and errands. Do you? I don't. I don't want to miss the new wanting to happen in my life and in this church and in this world because I'm grinding away at getting things just so. I mean, it's a small thing. These mishaps happen all the time. But there are messages in them. I have to believe that there are. And I am grateful to have received this message at the beginning of Advent. To have a chance to try putting it all down and letting things go. And I'm not sure what's going to happen or why I was supposed to put things down and let them go. I did not receive an epiphany or a vision here in the sanctuary last Saturday, but I am committed to moving through this time with some curiosity and flexibility in my mind. It's a good place to start. And I am committed to enjoying some good, hearty laughter and some ruckus joy at the foibles of life's detours. The delivery dates unknown, right? If you've got any good stories, I would love to hear them. We need laughs, I'm telling you. So you know, Advent candles are meant to be purple and pink. And I could have absolutely kept on with making sure the right ones were here today. Forget it. Forget it. Who cares? Honestly, how are plain, lovely 100% beeswax candles, our pillar candles, how they got there is more apt for this season than anything else. So let them be reminders to us all to wait and laugh and go with it so that these are dashed plans, our day 2 Advent candles can keep us tethered to something that really matters. Our poet today, Rilke, wrote that reading night. Thank you, Jean Renard, for that stunning reading. After a time spent in Russia, and it was a time and place where something he says came alive in him. He wrote to a close friend that he felt that he had been waiting for something, and that Russian life and its expression of religion and faith gave him what he called the names for waiting. And so the poems like Night in this beautiful book of hours that he wrote, they are waiting poems for God of many names, no names, And most of them are set in the beauty of night, where the hard to see and the often invisible becomes visible or emerges, that you can feel it. But to know it, we must practice sitting in the dark for a time. We must. That's what this book of poetry offers, words for this. So before we listen to those words again, I'm going to read them again. I want you to know that you do not need to do everything at once. I want you to know that there are quiet, waiting places for you underneath the night sky. Just let it all be, let it be, let it be. I want you to know that. Our new monthly Vespers service, which is this Tuesday, might be a good place to welcome some of this in this season. And you might want to consider or reconsider your relationship to waiting, or lists, or dashed plans. Or like many of our Christian siblings, ask yourself what you might need to put down from this past year or in your day so as to prepare for a new beginning. A bit of hope. But no matter how you find your way to meaning this season, my only prayer and hope for you is that you keep at the meaning-making part. That's what this time of ritual and hymn singing and religious symbolism that can stir up a lot in many of us, and myth and story, that's what it's here for. That's what it's here for, so that you might glean some meaning from it. Take it, take it. That's all, right? That's what we're doing. So let's listen to Rilke's prayerful waiting words again. You darkness of whom I am born, I love you more than the flame that limits the world to the circle it illuminates and excludes all the rest. But the dark embraces everything, shapes and shadows, creatures and me, people, nations, just as they are. It lets me imagine a great presence stirring beside me. I believe in the night. I believe in the night. So may the night, in its great presence stirring beside you, be a source of unexpected joy this week. And may you know, as Lauren said, that you are not alone in it, that there are hands to be held in it. And so I say to you, amen.